Hi everybody, today I would like to do a quick review on this little boy. It's the Flywoo Flylense75. I think it has been released in mid of December. That was the time when I also ordered it from the manufacturer directly. The first thing I have to mention is that I'm really happy that there are still at least some manufacturer out there who produce bind and fly stuff with a Walksnail system in it. They become really rare at the moment. There are some rumors out there what's the reason for, but I don't want to talk about this political stuff. We would like to talk about this little boy here. So from the price point, it has been around 210 euro without the LiPo. So the drone itself was about 210 LiPos. There was a small discount, a small sale action during the holiday season. So currently it's around 230 euro, I guess. But I've paid around 210 euros, and from the price point I have to say it's not an argument for going with a build on your own copter, because if you do the mask and add all the stuff which is built in here, you usually get or come to the conclusion that the price point is nearly the same if you buy it bind and fly or if you build it up on your own. Yeah, for sure, if you build up a drone on your own, it is eventually a unique one, and if building up a drone is fun for you and is also part of the hobby, for sure go for this one and build it up on your own. If you say, I'm just into the flying thing and I know how to repair things, but the most important part of the hobby is to fly drones, then buying a bind and fly copter isn't a bad idea, because you nearly pay the same price as the person who built it up on their own. The most important thing, if it comes to those tiny whoops, is the weight. This drone weighs around 81 gram. It's the flight weight, already includes the LiPo. If we take a look at just the LiPo, it's around 27 gram. So the drone itself is around 55 gram, and there are 3 options regarding the LiPo you can use. There are 3 options. This one is the smallest one, the 550. There's also a 750 LiPo and a 1000 milliamp LiPo. All of them are 2S and all of them are high voltage LiPos. I go for the smallest one because, from my opinion, the smallest one has the lowest weight, and the most important thing regarding those drones is that they are light, so they fly and behave well, and I don't want to put too much load on this, and then it has not that good flight characteristics, and it flies around 4 minutes, 5 minutes, always depending on your way of flying. You will see some footage in the background sometimes, which has been recorded in 720p for the indoor footage, and the outdoor footage has been recorded in 1080p. Always has been recorded on the DVR, on the goggle footage, or it's the footage of the goggle. So the quality of the VTX itself would be a little bit better, but what you see is the recording of the goggle, and the flight time indoor has been always around 4 to 5 minutes, while I was chasing some 3D models, and yeah, I think you can empty the LiPo in 230 or something like this, but you also can stay up in the air for 5 to 6 minutes if you don't do much and don't go full throttle. Yeah, the next thing, I think it's the best way to go from the top to the bottom. I already talked about the LiPo. This is the smallest one. The LiPo has been put on the drone with this little plastic holder. You can push it out like this. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's not a big deal to do this to change the LiPo. To be honest, I ordered more of them because the web page of Flywoo says that you can change the battery in the way that you turn this LiPo around 90 degrees, and then you can remove the LiPo and put on the next one. As you can see, it gets stuck here. It will get stuck here as well. So turning around is not the way that I prefer or I can recommend, because it's nearly impossible to remove it this way. Just putting it through, I guess, is the best way. So you don't need to order more of them when it comes to changing the LiPo. They look very fragile because they don't have to, or they should weight that much, so they are a bit fragile. But at least I put around 20 to 30 LiPos through this drone and fly to 20 to 30 LiPos with it, and it's still the same. There doesn't seem to be damaged or something. So yeah, I ordered 2 of them for spare because I think I could need it for the other battery pack, but it's not the case. The next thing, yeah, as you can see, it's a micro USB on the flight controller. I prefer USB-C, I guess, like everyone do. Yeah, it shouldn't work with a USB-C because the frame has just a hole which allows a micro USB, so USB-C won't be able to fit in here. But yeah, we have to live with the micro USB on this. It's not a big deal, but yeah, USB-C nowadays should be the standard from my perspective. Something, yeah, one of the things I don't like most on this drone is, as you can see, the cam is already at the most aggressive angle. This kind of drone usually is used for indoor flying proximity through little gaps. So usually you don't go fast with this. That's for sure the thing. But I would prefer a camera angle at least with 3 to 5 more degree, so I can fly it more fast if I want to. But yeah, this one will block you while turning or moving the cam, and yeah, that's something I'm a little bit sad about, because a more aggressive camera angle would be nice, and this thing flies great if you go fast with it. So why not be able to turn the camera to a more aggressive angle? And even if they have to put the camera in the front to provide this more agile angle, it isn't a big deal, because this frame still would protect your camera lens and your camera, because it's so much in the front. It always will protect your camera. So just 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter more in the front for the camera, and it would be able to get nearly every angle you prefer. And yeah, that's a little bit of a downside and a sad thing, because from my perspective it's not a big deal if you design a drone like this to put this thing up in the front. It's nice to see that it's on dampers, so it will always provide you some more stable footage. That's a good thing. And yeah, the next topic I would like to talk about is the VTX stuff. As you can see, there is a lot of space. That's probably the issue, because this drone is also available with the DJI Air unit, the 03, and the DJI Air unit is a lot bigger than this little VTX from Walksnail. That's a big advantage of Walksnail. You have a lot of VTXs available, so you can choose the one you need for your project. And for those tiny whoops, yeah, the 1S VTX from Walksnail is a perfect choice, because it doesn't add a lot of weight, and your weight will be nearly the same like going with analog. So yeah, you have the digital footage and still be lightweight, so that's a good thing. There is a lot of space, as mentioned. Eventually, but I'm not sure, it's also enough space for putting in the new Walksnail system, the Moonlight cam with the Moonlight VTX. The Moonlight VTX could probably fit in here, because yeah, it's really a lot of space. But the cam of the Moonlight system is a lot bigger, so this won't fit. I'm not sure if someone is able to create a 3D printed mount which will fit in here and also be able to hold the new Moonlight cam. But yeah, the VTX could fit. I'm not sure about this, but there's a lot of room. Because of the room, this one stands up very high. So if you land the drone, you always have to land it, yeah, very, you have to brake and then land it. If you have a little bit of speed and land it, it always tends to roll around, because the most, or the heavy part of the drone is the LiPo and the VT and the flight controller, the frame. So it always tends to, yeah, turn around and lay on the bottom or on the top. If this one, this small plastic bay was also available, or would be available in a much more compact way, where it is just ended here, for example, I think this one wouldn't tend to turn around that often. Also, if you come down with a little bit of speed, it's not a big deal. It's just something I recognize while landing it. You have always behave very well and land it clean, so that it don't turn around. Regarding the VTX, it's nearly a thing with every digital video transmitting stuff nowadays. They become really hot. Even if they are just in the pit mode, they become really hot. So if you would like, or if you have to work on the drone, if you want to do some settings in Betaflight, you just can connect your micro USB to your PC and then do your settings. That's not a big deal. But as soon as you would like to work on the VTX, or you have to copy some files, some video images from the VTX to your PC, you have to use the LiPo and plug it in, so the whole get the energy from the LiPo to power on the VTX, and so the VTX is reachable. The VTX will get hot, and this one even more because it just has this small heatsink. The other Walksnail VTXs are a bit heavier, a bit bigger because they have a big heatsink. This one just have this small metal plate. So keep it cool, putting something like a fan or a hairdryer with cold air in front of it and cool it down during you are working on it or copying the flight footage. Don't just put it on with the LiPo and put the USB cable in it to move files. It will become hot very, very quick. Another topic regarding this VTX stuff, on this small thing I can understand the choice Walksnail did or Cadex did with these small plugs. They use them as well on the bigger ones where I can't understand it because there is 1 gram more weight isn't a big deal on a 5-inch drone, and there I would prefer something like USB-C and not this fragile plugs. Because every time you would like to take a look at your fly footage, you have to plug in the connector into this one, and this one, as you can see, is a bit fragile, and I'm not sure how long it will hold up if you do it after every session, because the other part is this small and you have to fiddle it in this, and yeah, it could be that you will damage the plug sometime and then you aren't able to get the footage, or being able to get a firmware update done because the plug has been damaged and doesn't work properly anymore. So I'm not a big fan of this. On this one it's nice because it's very lightweight, but yeah, I don't get the sense why they go for these plugs instead of a USB-C, which tends to be more suitable or more they will last longer. Yeah, I think that's everything for now which I can tell you regarding this drone. I think it sounds that there are many downsides because of the list I now tell you and the different topics I tell you, but yeah, that's not so true. The drone flies, as you can see in the background, very well. You can move it around very precise, and it also can very fast, and you can do some acro stuff. You can do your flips, and yeah, that's a real good drone. I like it very much. I don't prefer to fly it in the guided modes like angle. I don't like the angle mode at all. Also, I don't like it in a 5-inch, but on these small ones it always tends to be very not very smooth, because every time it goes back if you leave the sticks, and yeah, that doesn't feel right and very smooth and soft. So I always can just recommend to go in acro and fly it in a direct way. That's just something I can recommend with this one even more than with a 5-inch. Another thing is a thing you can run in if you will use this drone for the first time. The thing I have to deal with is that when I try to use it, that the message BadRx comes on or has been shown on the OSD and also in Betaflight. That issue can be solved by taking a look in the modes, especially for the ARM switch. Take a look and see if the mode or the ARM mode is related to the right channel on your TX, on your radio, because if this isn't connected properly or to the right channel, the flight controller will kind of protect you and don't let you fly because it says BadRx, because it's not the right channel for arming your drone. I'm not sure if it is an issue everybody runs in or will run into. I used the Radiomaster Zorro ELRS system, and that was the message I have to deal with. It wasn't a big deal, but you just have to know where you have to look, because usually BadRx is always related to something like the connection between your radio and the RX isn't good, or the connection between your RX and your flight controller isn't set up properly, or all those things between your radio and the flight controller and the connection could be the issue why this message comes up. But if your radio runs properly for all your other models, and this one is a new one, and the ELRS is already included into the flight controller, there is no physical or no cable connection between those. The most usual reason is that the mode isn't set up correctly for arming this drone. And just take a look into it in Betaflight, and I think you will recognize that the arming switch isn't mapped to the right channel. Regarding the other software stuff, I was happy to see that this drone already comes out with ELRS 3.x. I'm not sure which is the concrete version, but it is delivered with the version 3. So if your radio is somehow used with a current firmware, you should have an issue with binding the quad. Also the Betaflight version is a 6.4 version, so it's already able to deliver the HD OSD stuff to your goggle. In some older drones, you always have to update your Betaflight, and that means you have to delete your settings, and that's always a big deal, at least for the newcomers in this hobbies. And with this one, it's delivered with 6.4, and the OSD works probably with the HD stuff, and you can go on with just configuring your OSD and use the standard settings the drones come with. For me, they are very nice. As mentioned already, this thing flies very good. The only thing, but that's a personal thing, is that roll tends to be it could be more aggressive. So if you would like to do a roll this way or the way around, it needs to be very high to manage this roll, because it takes a lot of time to do so. So if you don't just want to flip front or backwards, you want to flip sidewards as well, you should think of changing the settings and make it just a bit more aggressive. But first, I would like to suggest that you have or should test it and how it behaves to your to your preferred settings and or way of flying, and then you can go on with tweaking around. But right out of the box, it's a good thing, a good setup. So I just can recommend it also to beginners. Those kind of drones don't do a lot of damage to things or people. I also already showed this. These things didn't weigh much, so it's a good starting point, I guess, where you can do things wrong, and no injuries will occur. And I just can recommend it. I hope the flying footage is also something you enjoy. And if there are any questions, just contact me, and I will try to answer all of them. Thank you and bye bye.